What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JJD TV. I'm your host, Josh, and we are coming back for our 5 takeaways after the game between Borussia Dortmund and Augsburg, in which we won 3-1. Finally, it was a result we absolutely needed. I couldn't stress it enough. I said nothing, even a draw would have been, the word was catastrophic. That is a word I use and I stick by it. We needed a victory today, and a very interesting takeaways I have, because a lot of the things that I really liked, and some of the guys that follow the Discord and whatnot might have heard, and even some of the streams would have heard my suggestions on 2 major points, and I'm just gonna get right off the bat with it. To be completely honest, the first thing I want to do is discuss why the formation went the way it did, and I'm very excited about that. So my first takeaway is the formation. I said in Terzic a few times, if he was going to switch into a formation, it wasn't going to be the 3-4-3. It was going to be the 4-1-4-1 because he's very familiar with it. I said that because I wanted to see Schultz at left back, Guerreiro as left mid, but the main reason he did it is because he wanted to see a little creativity up front. He knew that we had about 80% of the possession in our first match against Augsburg, and having 2 attacking midfielders in Brandt and Reus just would hopefully lead to a little more creation so we can break down this Augsburg team and not get hit so much on the break. He's got familiarity with it, which is the main reason I thought that would be his other formation he went with, and he did exactly that. That set up in a perfect 4-1-4-1. Did its job exactly. A lot for the focal point between Brandt and Reus. And, of course, Sancho and Guerreiro. So I was very excited to see those 2 play together, and I thought that 4-1-4-1 formation could be our go-to formation against some of the lower teams. I don't think it would work very successfully against a Leverkusen or a Leipzig. I think they would have too much space breaking us down in the midfield. But against an opposition that can be stubborn, maybe a Freiburg, obviously an Augsburg, it gave you a lot of creative options to break down this team, in which we did, scored 3 goals, even missed a penalty. So it was absolutely fantastic to see, and I would love this 4-1-4-1 formation, and I was very glad that my prediction came true. The second takeaway, 1000%, has got to be Sancho / Guerreiro. And the main reason is because I've stressed this, and if you were in the watch along, you heard it, but I said Sancho needed to play on the left-hand side. He was so successful playing alongside Hakimi last year. Mariah and Meunier aren't going to do that on the right-hand side. They're not going to give Sancho what he's looking for. They're not those type of players. Guerreiro is arguably one of the best creative left-back, full-backs, wing-backs, wherever you want to place him in the entire world. Mixing him with Sancho can hopefully spark Sancho. And those 2 were lethal today. Absolutely lethal. Sancho was my player, man of the match by far. I thought Guerreiro had such a good job going up and down, and he backtracked when he needed to. We know sometimes he can be a little, defensively vulnerable. But today he played great, and every chance he got, he linked up with Sancho, and they did it so well. On top of the fact that Sancho was able to cut in on his left hand, on the left-hand side, cut onto his right-hand foot, which gives him an option to put the ball in the back of the net, which he did during his goal. And, of course, if you guys didn't notice, he was wearing the captain's armband today, which I thought spoke volumes. I don't know exactly what it meant, but Hummels was still on the pitch. Reus came off, and Sancho was rocking the armband. Even Delaney was on the pitch. It was quite the sight. I was very, very impressed. I don't know what exactly it means, but I was surprised and happy that Sancho had the game he did. He needs to stay on that left-hand side. The magic he can create with Guerreiro was perfect. And then it goes on to my third takeaway, and that is Brandt and Reus. And the reason I want to talk about them today is because I didn't see that duo happening. I thought it would be a Delaney and then a Bellingham alongside either Brandt or Reus. But having these 2 creative players working wonders with Sancho and Guerreiro was a joy to watch. They had so many good touches today. It was absolutely incredible to see the way that they were interchanging with each other. I was really impressed with Brandt, man. He's breaking into this starting 11, and I think he's going to be someone going forward. Now Terzic has got different options now with this 4-1-4-1 working the way it did. Like I said, I don't think it's going to work against every team, but it's a little tool he can use going forward, and I really liked what I saw between them. On top of the fact, huge shout out to Marco Reus becoming Borussia Dortmund's all-time leader in assists with his 87th assist today, and it was on his 200th Borussia Dortmund appearance. So absolutely sensational stuff for him. And then my 4th takeaway is going to be Thomas Delaney. And it's because when you got stuck as the only defensive midfielder in that team, you got to cover a lot of ground, and he did that today. Absolutely fantastic. Such a good passer of the ball. At some point in the game, his passing percentage was at 96%, and it was still finished a very, very solid, I think right around the 90s. So he had a great game today, and he needed to. If you're going to play a 4-1-4-1 like that, and your top 5 players are all attacking, you need to know what you're doing as a center defensive mid. And he held it down absolutely fantastic. Dane the Train, is some of you guys, were talking about. So he had a shout at man of the match, 100% he did. But for me, it was Sancho, just because I liked what he did. And I was, maybe it's because I was so excited to see him on the left-hand side finally. Interchanging with Guerreiro was beautiful. The touches, the goal, he's wearing the armband. It was great. But Delaney was the underrated man of the match because he did the behind-the-scenes work, which led going forward. And he had a huge shout-out for me. But my 5th and final takeaway is I don't want to get unbelievably positive, because the only real negative thing I saw is the goal we conceded had a lot of issues. It went back to the defense. It happened early in the game. It was something that I was very worried about because we came out relatively strong and then got hit on the counter, one counter attack, defensive lapse, which is something we are experienced in, and then they obviously had a relatively easy goal for them. But the main thing is that we bounced back from it. Those are always something we need to address when it comes to the back. But 10 minutes in, we're down. Didn't take us much to get back in the game. We missed a penalty. Delaney got his goal. Excellent game from him as well. And we just, overtime, built way into the game. And the number one thing I said at halftime is we had to come out in that second half with a force to be reckoned with. Augsburg barely touched the ball in that second half. We led to so many chances, so many creative outlets. The ball was only played on that left-hand side, man. It honestly was. Guerreiro and Sancho, it didn't matter where it was getting thrown to them. They led to so many creative things. The passing was immaculate, and I was very impressed. And I've been stressing it for a while that Sancho needs to play on the left, and I hope he does, and the work continues with Guerreiro. If we're sticking in a 4-2-3-1 or even a 4-1-4-1, Sancho needs to be on that left-hand side. Then hopefully Hazard comes back because he's a good crosser of the ball and can be on his right foot, and Sancho can cut in on his right foot from the left. So 2 big points for me was saying that I wanted to see a 4-1-4-1. I saw it, and I think it can work against some of the teams that are lower in the table where we'll have a lot of possession. And then I'd like to see Sancho on the left-hand side. Those are my big takeaways on top of those other 3 I mentioned. So I hope you guys enjoyed that watch-along. I definitely did. We will be doing a watch-along tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the channel. It'll be Borussia Dortmund's U23 team. That game is available for everyone on Borussia Dortmund's Twitch, so you can watch the game there while listening to our watch-along here. If you're German, you can even just stay on the Twitch. So hopefully we'll see you there tomorrow morning, and let us know in the comments of what you think about this game, because it was much needed. I can finally relax. Very excited that we got 3 points. Very crucial points for us. So if you're new around here, be sure to comment, like, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.